Today, we're going to talk about what do you do when you have a mistake in your podcast that you've already published.
The School of Podcasting with Dave Jackson.
Hey, I'm Dave Jackson from the schoolofpodcasting.com, where I help you plan your podcast and grow your influence. And this is a Hindenburg file that from my last episode, where I was talking about the June question of the month, and then I said this. I will need this by February 26, 2020. So, yes, the June question of the month needed an answer by February. Now, I had the date right. If I pull up my calendar here, it is in June. It's the last Friday is June 26th. But why I said February, I have no idea. So what I'm going to do to fix this is I'm going to click after the last word, and I'm going to right click and choose split. I'm going to go here right before where I need it to start or stop in this case, and split that. I'm going to click here and let this play. And as soon as it gets past this word, I'm going to click on record on the show. I need this by June 26th, 2020. And that's it. I'm going to drag this over a little bit. Let's see what this sounds like. On the show. I need this by June 26th, 2020. Go to schoolofpodcasting.com/question and be sure, just like. So I sound a little different today than I did then. All right. So I'm going to get rid of this whole thing. Do the same thing. And maybe that person can tell that guy to get her on the show. Now I'm going to need your entries by June 26th, 2020, so that it can be out for the last Monday of the month. All you have to do is go to schoolofpodcasting.com/question, answer the question, and of course, don't forget to say your podcast and your website. If you could do that slowly so I don't have to scramble to figure out what the heck you're saying. There are no prizes for saying it the quickest. What we're going to do is I'm going to zoom out. I'm okay with this because the music's going to come up. So I'm going to grab all these together by holding down my control key. There we go. Drag this over. And now I'm just going to export it. And the key here is, in fact, I will do this. First of all, I'm going to save my changes. And then I'm going to go ahead and export this. And I'm going to overwrite the old file. And I'll explain why here in just a second. So here's my School of Podcasting folder. I have a folder called Finished Episodes, and there's the one from last week. I've got it set, and I export. It's going to say, hey, do you want to replace this file? I'm like, yep, because that's the one with the mistake in it. And off we go. And so what we're going to talk about here is you've got, and I'm just going to use Apple as the example. I've got Apple looking at a certain location where it expects my file to be. Now, if I create a new version of this episode and I give it a brand new name and then I put it out, well, Apple isn't going to look and update their listing for up to 24 hours. So that means for 24 hours, I could have this second, B version here of the episode, and Apple won't see it. Anybody that goes to Apple Podcasts will click play and it'll say something like, I can't play that file. I have no idea what you're talking about, because it's looking at a file that doesn't exist. You've removed that file and replaced it with this new version. So within 24 hours, it will go ahead and update and look at the new version. But an easier way to do this is to simply not create a second version and replace the original file with a file that has the exact same name. Apple will still be looking at the same thing, but when they go to that same location, there will be a new file without the mistake. So I just listened to the finished file and it's fine. So now what I'm going to do is go into Libsyn in this case, and here is the episode. I'm going to edit that episode, and there's actually a button here labeled replace. So when I click on this, upload from my hard drive, go into my finished folder, and upload that episode. And with the file uploaded, I can now click on publish to save my changes. If I was using PowerPress, you can see here, I could choose the file, upload it again, and then again at the bottom, or at the top, I guess here, I would click on update in WordPress. If I was using Captivate, I could click here to replace the file and then click on update episode at the bottom. They're all kind of the same, the different media hosts, but that's how you fix the audio. If you had a typo, or in, let's say, for example, this case, I forgot to put the link to All God's Women. I could highlight this. I'll put in the link here. I'm going to have this open in a new window and click on save. And again, you just want to click publish. But as I mentioned before, it does take Apple 24 hours to update. And so that actual link won't show up for up to 24 hours. And so that's how you fix a mistake in your podcast. I hope you never have to do this.